So today, guys, I'm going to show you how to work with the Wolfpack library and website and everything that you do. We are going to be a very website heavy school for the library right now because that's way it's a one-stop shop for everything you need. So what I need you to do is I need you to go to the second website. Now we've talked about Sora before, so you know that link. But the other link I want you to open right now is bit.ly/Wolfpack library, one all together and all lowercase. Now, once you go there, this is what you should see. Very simply laid out. You might not have the blue bar on the left-hand side of your screen, especially if you don't have a widescreen desktop or a widescreen Chromebook. But everything that's on that blue part, you will see the three lines, but everything that's there is actually in the middle of the screen also, where it says Ask for the Librarian. Now, I'm going to start with talking about each one of these. I'm going to talk about each one of the menu items that we have, but I'm also going to talk about the front page really quick. The front page, I know not everyone is on Twitter. I know at this point we think Twitter is for old people, but I also put a lot of important information out there on Twitter for parents, for the district, anything like that. So you don't have to have a Twitter account. I've actually embedded my Twitter into here so that you guys can see that as it comes. To the right, you'll also see Goodreads. Goodreads is how I keep up with my books. I review books. I rate them for you guys. Most of it will be books that you guys, that would be in our library or that I'm reading to see if they can be put in our library. And so I'll put information up there and that's going to be there. Underneath that, you're going to see this, which we've talked about this before. You've seen this. I know your teachers have sent it to you. Because right now we are not going to be in person as much, even though you're face-to-face, we're not going to be here on campus, or sorry, here in the library browsing right now. This is a great place for you guys to get some ideas on where to go. If you click on any of the top 3 rows, any of those little boxes, it's going to pull up the big book of books. Now, you will remember this as those binders that were on top of each genre, where you could open them and you could flip through them. They had a book cover and book title and a summary of a book that will be in there also. And so if you click on funny, you're going to get pages upon pages of books that would be considered funny that you could possibly request. Now, the bottom row is different extra links that you might need for anything that is library based, Sora, Mac and Via, school website, all of that. This is really good to have, but I put it in multiple places on the website so that you guys have access to this. But this is definitely, if you're struggling to figure out what to read next or what to come up with some new ideas for reading, go look at this. There's so much out there, especially like in the fantasy and the realistic and the science fiction. I think each one of those is at least 20 pages long with probably 7 books per page. So there's lots of good stuff in there. And it's not just the brand new stuff that's come out. So let's just kind of go through this. I have a screen for the audiobook, but let me just talk about the Ask the Librarian real quick, that button. All that is it will pull up an email to me if you have a question for me. So if you click on that, it's not going to take you anywhere other than it's going to pull up an email, a blank email that's addressed to me from you. If you go to ebooks and audiobooks, we have talked about this, but again, I'm going to show you what's there. We have 2 different things that are talked about in there. We have Sora, which is our online checkout system for the entire district, which is books and audiobooks. And then we also have Mac and Via, which on Mac and Via, I do have lots of classics on there, but I also have lots of audiobooks, and this is for Trent specific, Trent teachers and students only. So we have about 200 audiobooks that I purchased a little while ago for some of the books that were in here. So if you're ever like, oh, I can't find that book and I really want to check out the audio, go look there. We have digital resources next. A lot of you guys use this in study skills a lot and research that you do, but this is just some information about how to log in if you've never used it before. When we go into research in class, we'll definitely talk about this again, but I just want to show you where that information is. So Find a Book is going to be kind of a longer page. It's got some information. First off, if you click on that where it says LS2Pack need to find a physical book and you click there, it's going to pull up our search that you normally would see at the 2 computers that you could search for books on it. So it should look very familiar to you guys. Now, I will say that the front has changed a little bit because I took away the 2019 books because we were so close to knowing our 2021 Lone Star books. So those 2019 Lone Star books are gone off the front page. You can still look them in the library. They're still here. Just the extra page for them isn't. We also have that middle one that's new releases. That's a great place to go. I am getting new books constantly. I try to make sure and always getting new books, even if it's only 2 or 3 books. So keep an eye on that if there's something you might want to read. Tips for searching for a book when you're there. First off, I already said check the new releases button. Lots and lots on there, and it's all kind of mixed up a little bit. It's a lot in there. Make sure and spell correctly, or it's not going to find anything. If you accidentally put like I do, I like to, when I type so fast, I put Hunger Games. I go to type in Hunger Games, but instead of HU, I might do HN. I might miss that Q. It's not like Google where it's going to be like, did you mean Hunger Games? If I spelled it HNUGER, it's just going to say, I can't find anything. Well, that's the type of book, guys, that I have those books. Even if they're all checked out, it's still going to find the book. It's just going to say, oh, they're all checked out. So keep that in mind that you need to make sure and spell correctly. Also, you can actually search by genre when you're in this system. So if you want to type in fantasy, romance, mystery, science fiction, you can do that. But what it's going to do, it's going to give you a really long list. I know I did fantasy the other day and it was like 1,500 books. If you do want to go ahead and do that and look through a lot of that, change the way you view as and you're in the right-hand side, change it to flow. Because if you do it as list, when you click on it, it will take you to another screen, give you a summary in the cover, and then you have to go back in order to look at the next one. When you do a flow, you can actually see a little bit of the summary without having to go back and forth between multiple pages. And then you can hit the next button and it will go to the next book that's next to it. So if it's on Trouble Twisters right now, it'll go to Spin next, and then The Second Life of Ava Rivers, and it'll give you a small summary for each one as you go. So that might make life easier and just a little bit more user-friendly. Now, under Find a Book, there's just a little bit more. Again, my Goodreads is under there. I put it in multiple places just because a lot of students are wondering what I'm reading right now and what I would suggest. There is also a S'more that with tons and tons of book trailers. These are videos that were created to get you interested in the book, and they're about the book, kind of like a movie trailer. And then the last thing at the bottom is going to be the Texas Lone Star books for 2020. And it's a summary with the cover. And then also underneath that is some read-alikes, where if you like this book or if this book sounds good, maybe you'll like these other books. Once we change over to Lone Star 2021, what I'll do is I'll split that. And so half the screen will be 2020 and the other part of the screen will be 2021. So you can still see both. So I'm going to go ahead and skip. We do not have students who are face-to-face who are not Trent students. So that Need a Different Library is mostly for our virtual students. The newsletters are letters that I send to parents that you guys that you can access if you click there. It's just information that's being sent out to parents. Right now, I feel like it's weekly, although at times it is more monthly is what I try to go for. So under Library to Go, once you click on Library to Go and go ahead and do that, you will find this page right here. This is what it will look like. You'll notice on the left-hand side, that's kind of the district, reserve books through your campus library, look for an email notification, virtual pick them up, your face-to-face will get them while at school, and then read. So let me talk about a few of the other things. Before I show you the form, I want to talk about the what's in the house of library face-to-face. So we're going to do Library to Go through at least September, and it could go on longer. One of the reasons we're doing this is because of the fact that we want one less common space. Here in the library, it is a large space with 25,000 books. And when a student comes in and touches a book, I'm not always able to clean that one book and do what I need to do with it. And so what happens is by doing that, we want to see what the numbers do before we officially open the library for browsing. When we open it again for browsing, there will be a few changes that you will need to be aware of when it comes to how many students can be in here, how many people on a row, one-way aisles, and all that. But that's something we'll talk about later. First off, let's talk about the amount of books. You're only allowed to get 5 physical books. Now, last year it was 4. We are moving it to 5 so that you have less time for so you don't have to wait as long on certain books. You must turn in overdue books to get more books. I say this because I do have students who still have books from last spring out on their accounts that I need to get back. Most of them, they know where they are. They just forgot to turn them in. So try and get those turned in. Now, if you were asking me for 5 more books, like you have 5 on your account that you checked out, let's say last week, and you're wanting to turn in 5, you want to turn those 5 in and you want to get 5 more, and you don't want to have to turn them in, wait for me to check them in, then go onto the form, fill out the form, and then do that kind of where it takes longer. You can tell me, I'm going to turn in books. I'm turning in 5 to get 5 more. And then I will trust you that for at least a little bit of time, you're going to have possibly up to 10 books on your account. And that's okay. It's not a big deal, but I just want to make sure y'all know that. Once you turn in the form, you will know those books are ready when you get a confirmation email from me. So once you receive that email from me, it will tell you how to proceed. I will tell you guys, this first round, and if a whole class has had me and they're all checking out books at the same time, I might actually have you put what that you're sending them to class, and then I'll take an entire cart down to your ILA teacher. It just kind of depends. But if you're just doing it on a random Tuesday, hadn't seen me, it's just you need a new book, so you filled it out. There's a little different way that I'm going to talk about that you can pick up your books. And your pickup days, this is where we differ from virtual a little bit, is that any day, just wait for the email and it will tell you when it's ready. Any day after it's ready, I will leave it there for 3 school days. After the 3rd school day, I will check it back in and I will put it back on the cart. Books, there are no holds this year. Okay, if a book is not available, you must ask for it again the next time you request books. Keep in mind, guys, I have a system right now where you can check out 5 books at a time for technically 6 weeks each. You're always welcome to turn them in early. Once we get to that 6 weeks, or let's say a kid turns a book in, I then have to hold the book after checking it in. I have to hold it for 4 days. So if a book is turned in on Tuesday, it will sit on the cart all of Wednesday, all of Thursday, all of Friday, and Saturday, Sunday, and will be put back on Monday. Just because that's how time works when it comes to those 4 days, because if it happens over a weekend, then it'll go out there then. Just keep that in mind. That's why we're not doing holds, is because of the way that system works. If I check in a book that's on hold, it's going to automatically send you an email saying this book is ready, but my computer system can't take into account the 4 days. So it can be kind of rough. When getting books, please make sure and only pick up the ones that are from your slot. Do not pick up, hey, that's my friend's books, I'll take it to them. Let them come see me instead. Now, for the form, if you're on the Library to Go page under the Wolfpack Library website, you will notice that there's a couple of boxes on the right-hand side. Library to Go form for virtual students, Find a Book, and Library to Go form for face-to-face students. I need you to only do the face-to-face students at this point. That is what you're going to be utilizing. Now, this is what will pop up. It'll be a Google form, and this is page 1. So the first thing it's going to ask you is, what's your ID number? This will only be seen by me. This is what I have to type in order to check out your books. Then tell me what grade you're in, and then we'll move on, and then it will have you move on to the next round. It's going to ask you, what books do you want? Now, if you have been on the virtual one or know people in virtual, there is going to be at some point an option that says, hey, if you don't know what you want Miss Lastly to check out a book for you, or do you want Miss Lastly to choose your book for you? And we're going to hold off on that right now. As I am going to see 530 of you guys in the next week, I want to make sure that we have time to get you guys books for this first round and possibly second round. I would like you guys to tell me what books you want. That's where you can go into that LS2, or sorry, the search place where you can look at that. You can look at those other sheets from the Bitmoji classroom, and you can kind of tell me what you want. If you're filling out this form, you'll notice that these questions are not required, because you could pick up to 1, or you could pick up to 5, or somewhere in between. That's why I did not put it there. Now, while we're on this page, I do want to make a mention of no manga. This is going to be a temporary thing, I believe. I want to hold up on manga until I can see how fast it's going to come in and out. You guys like to read them fast. There were people last year that I would see first period, then I'd see them again 3rd or 4th, and then I'd see them again 6th, and then I'd see them after school. Because of the way books have to come in and out and the way I'm doing things, I'm not necessarily going to be tied to that Google Doc page or to the Google form saying, whose book is next, whose book is next. I don't have time to do that. So I know you guys will get like irritated with the lack of continuality and the quickness of everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold off on manga for now, but you can get graphic novels, Nathan Hale books. You can get Raina Telgemeier, Babysitter's Club. You can get Hilo. You can get books like that. Diary of a Wimpy Kids are still available. Dork Diaries, anything like that is okay. But the Japanese anime manga, no. Now, do you want to stop by the library and pick it up or have it delivered to class? Now, for this first one round, we're going to say drop off an ILA class because I'm going to be doing that anyway because of the amount of books I'm going to be checking out. But if you want to just stop by the library and grab it, that's a little different. We're going to kind of show you both sides. So if we choose drop off an ILA class, it's going to ask you your grade level, when does your ILA block start, and then who is your ILA teacher? And then the last question is going to ask you is wanting you to hit yes. It says, I understand that I am responsible for the materials that I check out from the library, and I will return them on time and in good condition. I do know stuff happens, guys, but I need you to make every effort, no matter what environment we are in, to take care of your library books. I don't have an infinite amount of money to replace every single book. If it is damaged to the point that I cannot fix it, which you guys know, I will do everything in my power to fix it, then I will ask you to replace the book. Now, what happens if you choose to stop by the library? What does that look like? The next question it's going to tell you, or the next thing it's going to do is it's going to say, stop by the library, and it's going to move you on to that, yes, I will treat my library books like the precious resources they are. Because what you're going to do is once you do that, I'm going to shoot you an email once I have pulled the books off the shelf. I have checked them out to you. I'm going to place them in a slot. Now, right inside the library doors, you will see a bookshelf that looks like this. And it has 1 through 18 on one side and then 19 through 36 on the other. When you get an email, it looks very similar to this. Hey, Timberwolf, the book you requested is now ready. Please pick it up in box 12 at your earliest chance. And so I will tell you, the thing that's going to be different is that box 12, it might say box 13. It might say box 1. It may say box 36. Any of those it could say. And so that's how you're going to pick it up, and it's right inside the door. So it's a very quick in and out. I'll set it there. I'll have there will be a receipt on top with your name on it, so you will know it's yours. Again, please only pick up the books that are yours. If you see your friend's name, maybe give them a friendly reminder that their books are in the library, but please do not take them for them. Now, if you have any questions, remember that Ask the Librarian button that is on your website. You're more than welcome to use that, and I will answer any questions you have. Happy reading.